I'm sure it goes without saying that Rimuru Tempest definitely has no shortages when it comes to powerful subordinates, and since we did most of the members of the 12 patrons, we only have a few left to talk about, so it's only fair to continue with the Demoness Trio of the Tensura world, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at the White Primordial Demon known as Testarossa. We'll be talking about her backstory, powers and abilities, and see just how powerful the White Primordial truly is. As always, there will be spoilers for her character and story, so here's a spoiler warning just in case, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Tensura content in the future. Before we talk about the current Testarossa in the light novel, let's go over a bit of her past, starting with an infamous event that was related to her, the Lakeshore Dyed Red incident. It starts in a small nation located in the Eastern Empire known as Siberia. Because since ancient times, the land used to be the domain of the White Primordial Blanc, and the first queen of Siberia had made a pact with the demon. The conditions of the pact are as follows. Until a vessel suitable for the primordial demon to possess is born, the demon will always protect the land and its people. So that's why the Siberian royal family possessed crimson eyes, pale white skin, and shining white hair, because these were all the blessings from the demon. So with that in mind, this incident started with Princess Blanche named Siberia, the next in line for the throne. She was approached by the White Primordial after her mother died, and the demon offered to fulfill her wish in exchange for a favor. This favor was of course the pact made between the demon and Siberia. The princess had wished to become friends with the demon, which surprised her, but the demon accepted, so she latched onto the body of the princess. Thanks to the White Primordial, the princess was able to find happiness again, but when she turned 16, everything fell apart, and in her own despair, against the wishes of the demon, she invoked the pact and offered her soul and body to the demon. The White Primordial was deeply saddened and angered because she truly considered the princess as a true friend, so she decided to kill those that hurt the princess and consume their souls, leaving a wave of blood flowing into the lake, dyeing the lake scarlet. The Eastern Empire eventually sent a covert team of Imperial Nearguards to stop the Primordial Demon, but because the demon did not want to harm the body of a friend and having taken revenge, she no longer had a reason to stay in the physical world. So the demon pretended to lose to the Nearguards and returned to the demon realm, forever cutting her ties to the human world. But before she left, the demon casted a special seal to preserve the body of her friend and laid her to rest underneath the land she once called home, thus ending the Lakeshore Dyed Red incident. And now that we talked about the incident, let's go over the current White Primordial. Testarossa, or also known as the White Primordial Blanc, is part of the 7 primordial demons considered to be the oldest and most powerful demons in the demon realm. Before she joined Rimuru Tempest, she was the guardian of the Underworld Gate located in the Eastern Empire, but whenever she is not guarding the gate, she will be fighting the yellow and purple primordial demons. Because the three of them constantly fought with each other, the other primordial demons often referred to the three of them as the Demoness Trio. Later, she along with the yellow and purple primordial were recruited by Diablo, who was looking for subordinates to help out with his work. But before she accepted Diablo's offer, the White Primordial actually wanted to kill him, and according to Diablo, she apparently does have the ability to harm him if she was serious, which is saying a lot about how powerful she already was. But anyways, the Demoness Trio only agreed to meet Rimuru because they were curious about the creature that managed to capture the heart of Diablo. When they met Rimuru, they were impressed by how easily he saw past them hiding their auras, but only because Wisdom King Raphael had helped him. Honestly, Rimuru's ignorance is truly a blessing. She offered her loyalty to Rimuru and brought with her 200 demon soldiers and 2 high-ranking lieutenants. They were added into the Black Numbers, a newly formed elite unit that is under the leadership of Diablo, and they directly serve Rimuru. Rimuru then prepared magic steel bodies for the demons to inhabit because demons are spiritual life forms with no corporeal body, so their magic kills will dissipate if they remain in the world for a long period of time. As for the White Primordial, she was given a special body made from orichalcum, a material that is obtained by mixing gold with magic steel. Orichalcum has higher quality and greater strength than normal magic steel, and the gold actually makes the skeleton easier to control because gold is very compatible with magic kills. She possessed the orichalcum body and she was able to quickly acclimate to a new body, so now that she obtained a physical body, the White Primordial was able to break through the ceiling of power that limited demons and evolve from an archdemon into a demon peer, giving her a disaster class threat level. She and her 2 lieutenants were also given new names by Rimuru, and just like Diablo, they were named after supercars. The White Primordial would receive the name Testarossa, named after the Ferrari Testarossa, while her 2 lieutenants received the name Moss and Cheyenne, named after the Mercedes SLR Sterling Moss and Cadillac Cheyenne. Like I mentioned just now, Testarossa was recruited to handle Diablo's chores, and because she was familiar with politics, she was given the job of being the military attaché of the Tempest Federation. Her job required her to act as a representative of Tempest on the Western States Council and speak on Rimuru's behalf, be familiar with the laws of Tempest, and informing the other nations about them. Not only that, if Tempest were to deploy military forces to foreign nations, she would also be responsible for commanding those armies. As for notable events that showcase her talents and skills, the first one was during Granbell Russo's attack on the capital in Gracia. Granbell had wanted to plunge the Western nations into chaos, so he ordered Johann Rostia, the Duke of the Kingdom of Rostia, to take the Western States Council hostage and eliminate key figures of the council. But what Granbell didn't account was that the Tempest Federation representative was the primordial demon Testarossa, so there was no way Johann could have succeeded. Not knowing the true identity of Testarossa, Johann continued with his plan and ordered the mercenary group Apostles of Vert to begin the summoning. They were planning to summon their god, who was actually the green primordial Mizari. When Mizari arrived, she realized the woman standing in front of her was the white primordial, and she was surprised at first but soon understood the situation. Now, although Mizari was considered strong and had already possessed a body in the physical world far longer than Testarossa, she still couldn't really fight her in a battle due to the difference in combat experiences, so after exchanging a few words with Testarossa, she simply left. Obviously, this surprised everyone, and basically Testarossa didn't even need to lift a finger to stop Johann's plan, and she was even able to gain full control and earn the trust of the council. The only downside is that now that Granbell Russo and the Insectar Razu were defeated, Testarossa had to take on more responsibilities by having her forces defend the northern part of the western nations against the demons of Guy Crimson. But besides that, when the Eastern Empire attacked Tempest, Testarossa was ordered to monitor the first legion that was led by Gopta. But before the battle started, she went to negotiate with the Eastern Empire forces, but it was more threatening than negotiating because Testarossa just drew a line and asked them to not cross it. Guys, the Lieutenant General leading the army was triggered by her and ordered the snipers to fire at Testarossa. The bullets were traveling at 3 times the speed of sound and imbued with magic, but she simply blocked it with her index finger like it was nothing. But there's more. When she was given the order to join the fight, she headed straight for the enemy stronghold and killed most of the soldiers present by taking away their souls, leaving only Guys to play with. Guys was lucky because 3 Imperial Near Guards arrived just in time to help, and they just so happened to be the same individuals that sealed Testarossa away during the Lakeshore Died Rat incident. These 3 individuals were the rank 11 Thieves, Balder rank 38 and Gordon rank 64. They were all at the level of a sage, putting them at least at a disaster class threat level, and because they thought they defeated Testarossa all those years ago, they could do it again, but that is just wishful thinking. Testarossa easily broke through their spells and they fell into despair when they realized how strong she has become. Eventually, she decided not to play with food anymore, so she simply used Deathstreak to clean out the remaining enemies on the battlefield. Now, Deathstreak is a type of nuclear magic considered to be an evil form of magic that releases a magical death ray that can destroy the target's physical bodies on a genetic level, even allowing the user to destroy the spiritual body or soul of enemies in a radius of 10 kilometers. Now, I would like to mention that the souls used during the reward ceremony to awaken the 12 patrons into true demon lords were actually collected by Testarossa and the other 2 demoness. However, Testarossa was not given any souls because Rimuru lacked the souls to awaken the other 2 girls, and he wanted to make sure the balance of the trio was always equal, so she was only given the title of Killer Lord as a reward. Later, when Guy Crimson asked Rimuru to awaken Mizari and Rain into true demon lords as well, Raphael scammed him by asking for 500,000 souls. The leftover 300,000 was then used on the Demoness Trio, and they would awaken into true demon lords during the second wave of the Eastern Empire attack. During the second attack, Testarossa, Ultima and Carrera had to fight against the true dragon Valgren, but because of the difference in power, the Demoness Trio was having a hard time. Despite that, Testarossa was the one that managed to discover the secret behind Valgren's abilities, and they managed to deal some damage onto the true dragon, showing how intelligent she was. However, Valgren decided to leave, so the battle ended in a draw. When Rimuru's top executives raided the flagship of Emperor Rudra, Testarossa actually got a chance to face Valgren again. During the rematch, Testarossa was able to use her experience from the previous fight against Valgren, landing several hits on her and even holding out far longer than before. Despite putting up a better fight this time around, Valgren was still more powerful than Testarossa, but because she only needed to stall out time, in the end it was a tactical victory for Testarossa. Honestly, it's still commendable that she was able to fight the true dragon by herself, and it wasn't a total loss for Testarossa because after the battle, she managed to acquire a new ultimate skill known as Death King Belial. This ultimate skill basically gives Testarossa the ability to literally govern the aspects of life and death, although she mostly uses the death aspect more. Now, this ultimate skill has a total of 8 sub-skills, starting with Thought Acceleration, then we have Universal Perception, Demon Lord Haki, Space-Time Manipulation, Multi-Dimensional Barrier, Orb Creation, Life Domination, which is an ability that allows her to control when, where, and how the target will die. And the last sub-skill is called World After Death, an ability that basically plunges an enemy into a hellish world filled with death. Now, as for what happened after the Eastern Empire was defeated, Rimuru wanted Masaoki Honjo to become the new emperor and help establish a relationship with the Western nations, so obviously Testarossa was the best candidate to help Masaoki as she was familiar with the politics of the Eastern Empire. Within just a short period of time, she managed to consolidate power for Masaoki and he became the new emperor of the empire. Now, during the conference between the new Eastern Empire and the Western nations, Phantom King Feltway and the Manas Michael finally made their move on the world. Feltway would lead his forces to attack the capital of Ingratia in hopes of killing Masaoki, but they were intercepted by Testarossa, Moss, Hinata Sakaguchi, and Valgren. During this encounter, Testarossa had to fight against the resurrected Vega. He was previously part of Cerberus and he was used as an experiment to create vessels for the Phantoms to take over, but because of his immense pride, he consumed the Phantom inside of him and he became more powerful than before, having an EV of over 10 million as compared to the EV of Testarossa, which is only at 3,333,124. Now, initially, Testarossa was able to easily fight off Vega, but after he consumed his allies, his power grew to become even greater. Despite the boost in power, Testarossa was still able to finish off Vega with the help of a newly awakened Hinata by using White Flare, a new ultimate magic that surpassed even nuclear magic, which she created with her ultimate skill Death King Belial. Vega was targeted by the spell, and after getting hit, his body was consumed by the white flames, burning everything to ash. However, Testarossa sensed that before he died, Vega managed to secretly escape with his soul, but honestly, Vega was just lucky. So yeah, that's about everything on the White Primordial Testarossa so far, and although a majority of her battles end up being losses or draws, I feel like she's dangerous because of how efficient she is at politics and mainly her intelligence. I mean, she was able to help the Tempest Federation earn the trust of the Western nations and even establish themselves in the Western States Council, so I think she's definitely powerful in her own right. All in all, I hope we'll get to see more of this cruel white hair beauty in future volumes, and I would definitely let her dominate me whenever she wants. Anyways, what are your thoughts on the White Primordial Testarossa? I would love to hear them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, feel free to give the video a like, subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell for more Tensura and other anime content in the future. As always, thanks for watching and stay safe everyone.